brothers and sisters, welcome to part number 54. We are on page number 56. The only way to stop evil, therefore, it is to stop good. Also, there is no other way to stop death. We shall have to stop life also. Life without death, happiness without misery are contradictions. And neither can be found alone, because each of them is but a different manifestation of the same thing. What I thought to be good yesterday, I do not think to be good now. When I look back upon my life and see what were my ideals at different times, I find this, see what were my ideals at different times, I find this to be uh, so. At one time, my ideal was to drive a strong pair of horses. At other time, I thought if I could make a certain kind of sweetmeat, I should be perfectly happy. Later, I imagined that I should be entirely satisfied if I had a wife and children and plenty of money. Today, I laugh at all these ideals as mere childish nonsense. Vedanta says there must come a time when we shall look back and laugh at that ideals which make us afraid of giving up our individuality. Each one of us wants to keep this body for an indefinite time, thinking we shall be very happy. But there will come a time when we shall laugh at this idea. Now, if such be the truth, we are in the state of hope, hopeless contradiction. Neither existence nor non existence, neither misery nor happiness, but a mixture of them. What then is the use of Vedanta and all other philosophies and religions? And above all, what is the use of doing good work? This is a question that comes to the mind. The answer is in the first place that we must work for lessening misery, for that is the only way to make ourselves happy. Every day, every one of us finds it out sooner or later in our lives. The bright ones find it out a little earlier, and the dull ones little later. The dull ones pay very dearly for the discovery, and the bright ones less dearly. In the second place, we must do our part because that is the only way of getting out of the life of contradictions. Both the forces of good and evil will keep the universe alive for us until we awake from our dreams and give up this building of mud pies. That lesson we shall have to learn, and it will take a long, long time to learn it. Vedanta says that it is true that the absolute or the infinite is trying to express itself in the finite. But there will come a time when it will find that it is impossible, and it will then have to be, beat it retreat. And this beating a retreat means renunciation, which is the real beginning of religion. Nowadays, it is very hard even to talk of renunciation. Yet it is true that that is the only path of religion. Renounce and give up. What did Christ say? He that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. Again and again did he preach renunciation as the only way to perfection. There comes a time when the mind awakes from this long and dreary dream. A child gives up and play and wants to go back to his mother. It finds the truth of the statement. Desire is never satisfied by the enjoyment of desire. It only increases the more. As far when butter is poured upon it. This Maya is everywhere. It is terrible. Yes, we have to work through it. The man who says that he will work when the world has become all good and then he will enjoy bliss is a likely or succeed as the man is as likely as to succeed as the man who sits beside the Ganges and says, I will ford the river when all the water has run into the ocean. The way is not with Maya, but against it. This is another fact to learn. We are not born as helpers of nature, but competitors with nature. We are its born masters, but we bind ourselves down. Why is this home? Why is this house here? Nature did build it. Nature says, go and live in the forest. Man says, I will build a house and fight with nature. And he does so. The whole history of humanity is a continuous fight against the so called laws of nature. And man gains in the end. Coming to the internal world, there too the same fight is going on. This fight between the animal man and the spiritual man, between light and darkness. And here too man becomes victorious, like as it were, cuts the way out of nature to freedom. We see then that beyond this Maya, the Vedantic philosophers find something which is not bound by Maya. And if we can get there, we shall not be bound by Maya. This idea is in some form or other the common property of all religions. But with Vedanta, it is only the beginning of religion and not the end. The idea of personal God, the ruler and creator of the universe, as he has been styled the ruler of Maya or nature, is not the end of these Vedantic ideas. It is only the beginning. The idea grows and grows until the Vedanta finds that he who he thought was standing outside is he himself, and is it in reality within. He is the one who is free, but who through limitation thought he was bound. So this is what religion is. We have reached to page number 58. This is part 54. Thank you.